Howdy folks, Adam here with 120 Flyers, and we got ourselves a 1947 Cessna 120, and that we're going to be doing some restoration work on. There's a couple of things that were done. We saw some repairs that had been done in 1948 and 1949. Redo the airplane to kind of match that color white, and then we'll have a green Cessna 120 paint scheme on it. So here's our Cessna 120. As you can see, we currently have the doors are off. What we're planning to do is take it from the very top seam, right in the middle of the top, and take it from there and replace this. We're going to replace this whole side here with the top section all the way down to this point here, which is where the engine mount structure doubler is at. Okay, so on the right side of this Cessna 120, there was also damage, and rather than cutting the skin out, they had chose to just put a new piece of skin over the old skin. As you can see, the old original paint scheme is still here on the airplane. So instead of trying to patch this side in and patch this, patch in the holes here, we decided we're going to do the same thing on this side. We're going to cut this skin all the way out down to this point down here, so that way we can do the exact same thing on this side as we have on the other side. So now here in the inside, you can see our instrument panel. We have everything out of it, and on the left side of the instrument panel, it got pretty chopped up, and they've done some pretty massive rebuild with a million rivets in it. With regard to sheet metal, this is the skin on the belly, right behind the door structure and all that. And I've looked at a couple of other airplanes, and this big patch that's right here on the belly is not there. Those airplanes do not have that big doubler there. They don't have that for the battery, and they don't have a stringer here either. So we're going to take all that out, and we're going to reskin this, because that skin has gotten some wrinkles in it, and I assume that's from one of the accidents that the airplane had suffered early on in its early life. Okay, so on this side, on the left side of the airplane, you can actually see where there's a couple of buckles in that skin. That is the reason we're going to go ahead and just put a whole new skin on that. Being that I'm a A&P mechanic and an IA, I've done a number of sheet metal reskins. I feel like this is not something that's out of work for me, so we're gonna go ahead and tackle that, and I'll have some helpers. My buddies that are in the airplane are gonna help do that. So this Cessna 120, going back through the logbooks, the last time any entries were made were, I think, 2005. So it's been like 18 years since this airplane was last flown. When they last did some work on it, they had pulled the engine apart and did a conversion on it. So that, in other words, they put the 0200 crankshaft, connecting rods, pistons, and all that inside in the engine, which I know the STC still says it's an 85, but everybody knows that it's boosted horsepower. We know that it makes more than 85 horsepower on takeoff. So that was done probably 50 hours before that happened. So even though it was 18 years ago, we've already ran the engine ran good. You'll see, I think we have a video of that, of the firing the engine up. If we have to do a couple of cylinders because of corrosion or rust and everything, then we'll just have to deal with that. But we're pretty confident in the engine, even though it says it's got 1,000 hours. Essentially, the bottom end was just completely overhauled. So we will get you on the next episode. All right, Cessna 120 Flyers out. Subscribe.